What is going on, guys? This is ATC, and today I'm bringing you the first video that I've posted on Yeousch Reloaded, and I'm extremely excited to be here, but at the same time I'm extremely nervous because this is the first video that I've ever done for you guys, obviously, and it is also the biggest audience I've ever made a video in front of. So it's a pleasure to be here, and before I actually get the topic of the video started, I'd just like to introduce myself a little bit. My name's Alex, I'm 18 years old, and I come from sunny old England in a little town where not many people have heard of because it's really boring and there's really nothing special going on here. It's a little town called Hull and it's in Yorkshire. I've been doing YouTube for around about a year now, coming up in June, and so far it's been a fantastic journey. I've met some really good people and I've just really enjoyed making videos and just getting a subscriber base out there. The best part about it, honestly, is getting the feedback. It's just a really nice feeling for people to appreciate your videos, and it's nice to see that the time that you've put into a video has actually paid off. So that's my main motivation in YouTube, is just basically entertaining people and just knowing that people enjoy my videos. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy my videos, and it's obvious that I'm going to enjoy being here. So now that I've got that small introduction out the way, I'd like to start with the topic of this video, and this is going to be a part one of maybe 3 or 4 videos depending on how much you actually manage to get done in the video. And it's going to be a basic jet tutorial, and it's slightly going to get more advanced each video as it goes along. So I'm going to start off with one of the first tips, and this is turning, and this is possibly one of the most important tips when you're actually flying a jet. And if you're not very experienced in jets and you're here just watching just to find out a couple of tips and tricks, then you'll be probably wondering how people manage to get behind you so damn quickly when you're playing Battlefield 3 and you're flying in the jet, and then you're coming up against an enemy and they seem to just basically turn on the spot and get straight behind you and manage to take you out. This is a small trick that quite a fair few people know when you've been using jets quite a fair amount like I have. Now, a lot of people make the common mistake of going fast, and going fast isn't exactly the best thing to do when you're flying a jet. And as you can see in the video, I am banking, and banking is basically before you're going for the turn, you slightly tilt to the right or to the left, and whilst you're doing this you want to pull down on your left trigger to slow down, and then you want to slightly go into the turn, pulling it as hard as you can when you're turning, and then you want to let go of the left trigger, and then you want to activate the thrusters so you can boost back out of that, because if you're going really slow, then you're going to be a perfect target for people with RPGs, SMORs and sniper rifles. And now that I've got that out the way, I'd like to give you a couple of warnings and a couple of little tips and tricks. One of the main ones being stay high above the ground, and what you've got to remember is that most of the infantry will be carrying anti-air missiles because these are extremely popular among the engineers, and there are a lot of engineers who play this game because it is one of the more powerful classes out there. So a lot of these players will be carrying anti-air missiles, and these can be a massive problem for the simple reason they can shoot, reload and then shoot in the time that you can only deplete one flare. And once you've been hit by one of these missiles, you might as well just call it a night, because it's going to disable your vehicle and then you're going to have to bail out, or even worse, you may die. So I usually tend to keep about 700 to 1000 meters above the ground, just flying around circling the map looking for any enemy aircrafts or enemy tank, soldiers, etc. on the ground. So this is extremely helpful when it comes to it, because once one of these anti-air missiles does get locked onto you, the only hope you're going to do is deplete your flares, and then you want to fly straight up in the air, not too high so you don't want to get in the dead zone, because that can be a pain as well, but you just want to get high enough so they can no longer lock onto you, and then you can just carry on circling around the map looking for other aircraft to support your team. Now, the next one being lock-on warnings. A lot of people may know this, but some of you may still be struggling on what these noises actually mean. Just remember that when it's a steady beep, that means that somebody is grabbing on a lock. The constant beeping note means that they're actually fully locked onto your vehicle, and then the fast bleep is when the missile's inbound. And now if you're using the flares, you want to be depleting them as soon as you hear the really fast bleep at the end. That's the only way that you're going to defend yourself away from these missiles. But if you're using an ECM jammer, which I've unlocked it but I don't really use it a lot because it can be sometimes quite buggy, so it won't always work, but for some people it does work, for some people it doesn't. I really don't know what the deal is. These, you basically want to use it as soon as you hear the first beeping signals. You want to use your ECM jammer, and then you want to get away from the person who was trying to shoot you down, or get away from the aircraft. And you've also got to remember that the ECM jammer, when it is actually used, it takes you off the enemy's air radar, which allows you to quickly maneuver behind them, or just get out of the complete area for safety, and then come back around again to try and take them out. Now, surflams, and you all know what surflams are. Probably one of the most annoying things in Battlefield 3. Now, you don't want to be using your flares when they lock onto you, because once you use the flares they're going to lock straight back on, and then you're going to be open for an attack with somebody with a missile. So what you want to do is just ignore the beeping noise if you notice the surflam in the area, and wait for that really fast bleep to come in before you use your flares, and then you want to get the hell out of the area because it's probably going to take you down. So that's all we've got time for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and I hope you've learned something. Next week we're going to be doing some air-to-air combat, air-to-ground combat and some dogfighting tips. It's been a pleasure as always, and it would be greatly appreciated if you could leave a little bit of feedback or head over to my channel. I don't only do Battlefield 3, I do Call of Duty too. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all later.